G'day, team. What a great time of year it is. I'm pumped. Everest Day Saturday. I've been doing form last night on the Everest and this morning. I just thought I would share my thoughts on the big race with you. First, I want to talk. So, what I wanted to do before I got into anything on the Everest with my form study was go and have a look at Ying Rising's ratings in Hong Kong, but more importantly, how he handled a fast pace and whether he had been in the pace that I predict Saturday's race is going to be. Just by coincidence, his last race was his fastest early pace race that he'd been in. There's 4 genuine leaders in this race that we're watching now, and he sits second in the run, and let's see how he goes. So that's him. I'm going to pause it right here. This is him. He doesn't jump that great. He comes out, I don't know, midfield sort of thing, about fifth or sixth. But look at the early speed that he shows, and we saw this in the trial as well. The early speed that he shows here to punch forward from the barrier 5 or 6 that he had. Zach could have led him there, and he chose to sit second. Ying Rising isn't a horse that has led very often. He normally sits second or third or just stalks behind them, which I think he'll do on Saturday as well. So this race, as I said, had 4 or 5 genuine leaders in it. He shows very good early speed. I think this race will be run the same as it is on Saturday. And just have a look at his acceleration. This is over 1200 as well. Have a look at his acceleration in the straight here. Zach just ambles up to him. His last 200 sectional wasn't that strong. And the reason it's not that strong is because Zach just sits up on him in the end. He could have won by further. Have a look at this acceleration. This is a Group 1. These are top quality horses. And the ratings that he's producing over there are through the roof. So have a look how strong he is through the line. Zach sits up at the 100 and could have won by a lot further. Very impressive. There's been a rain around that day too, as we can see there. Let's go and have a look at his overall ratings, and then I want to talk about the Australian horses' ratings in comparison to where Ying Rising is. So if we have a look at his overall ratings, that race, then this is the old Hong Kong program I used to use. This is it here, the SPR. This is the overall rating. So we've got an overall rating of 108. Probably could have gone to 110 then. We see his peak rating very, very high, 116.8. That is really, really at elite level. Nothing here since Black Caviar's got to that range. We've seen a 110 here. So call that about, he could have done a 110 then. But what was impressive of that was that he did it off that fast pace. A lot of these races here weren't off an extremely fast pace. And that was what the worry was a little bit for me, that he's going to go into a much high pressure race. That isn't the case, I don't think, on Saturday at all. He can handle that pressure, which is a massive, massive tick for me. Let's have a look where his ratings sit. So say he's around that 108, 109 rating mark currently. Let's see where his ratings sit in comparison to the Australian horses. So let's start at the top. Let's go to Briasa. These are in the same scale as what they are in Hong Kong. So 102, Briasa's last start win. 102 was his peak rating. Let's go and have a look at Overpass, who's first up on Saturday. Overpass's peak rating back here, 101, done a 102, 100, usually in the high 90s, but doesn't get his own way in front with Marzu in the race as well. And first up, big ask for Overpass. Jimmy, 105 for Jimmy. Back at Caulfield over 1100 with that enormous burst of acceleration. 103 at the Valley. So Jimmy's actually second equal Australian best rater peak rating with Jolly Star, who we'll get to in a sec. War Machine, who's a horse on the rise. Peak last start rating, winning at Flemington, peak rating of 100. So we'll really have to go to a new level to win this race. Marzu, 94, never done 100. I'm penning Marzu as a winning chance in this race. Jeddabil, another horse that I'm penning due to this, done a 101 here, but just not racing well enough to be getting up to the mark needed, that 105 plus mark needed to win this race off my scale. Angel Capital, another horse on the rise. Peak rating of 98. I think this race is a bit beyond Angel Capital personally. Um, Great horse, but I just think the pressure will be too hard, too fast. Jolly 105 won the shorts, which we're going to have a look at a bit later. 101.6, call it 102, but can get to that 105 on the day, and we know how Chris Waller can peak horses for their grand finals. Lady Shenandoah failed last time in the Manikato, 94, but she has done a 102 and a 101. They were over 14 and 1500 meters though. So her peak rating over 1200 here, 97 at Randwick. I'm prepared to forgive that Mooney Valley run, and we'll get back to Lady Shenandoah later. Magic Time, I think this is a bit beyond Magic Time. 95, 94. Magic Time's never done a rating over 100. Let's have a look at Tempted. Tempted 93, last start 1400, failed. Prior to that 96. Tempted's obviously 3-year-old horse on the rise. I think this is a bit beyond Tempted as well, just to take that step up at 51 kilos does really suit. So the way that I'm thinking about this race after the barrier draw is this. I think that it's going to be a fastly run race. So let's talk about the map. So beyond Baker's horse, Overpass, who's drawn barrier 9, is going to go forward. Marzu for Jason Collett from an inside draw. Barrier 2 is going to go forward. So Marzu will probably lead and not let Overpass cross. And Kaying will follow Overpass across as well. Zach will follow Overpass. So Overpass either sits outside Marzu and Zach tries to get into the 1-1, or Overpass crosses and goes 100 miles an hour and leads Marzu. And which have I got actually leading predicted? I've got Overpass leading. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, Overpass leading Marzu. But I think either way, Zach will sit either outside lead or sit 1-1. I think Briasa from barrier 10 is probably going to go back. And I think Jimmy Star from 11 will definitely go back. So where does that leave us in the context of the actual race? So the way I think about this race is like this. I think this is going to be a well above average run Everest. So what I want to know is which horses can handle the early pressure of the Everest and have the sprint to finish over the top of Ying Rising. If Ying Rising fails because of travel and conditions and not handling the Randwick track. If Ying Rising races to his best, he will win this race. Nothing will beat Ying Rising if he races to his best. But we don't know whether he is going to race to his best because he's racing in a different country. We know he can handle that early pressure. That's not a worry for me anymore. We just saw what he did in his last race at Sha Tin with 61 kilos. So he drops in weight here as well. I think barrier 7's perfect for him. So if he was to fail, who can beat him? So what I did, I went through every horse. I went and wrote down how they performed in high pressure races. And the ratings that I ended up with were Ying Rising 107. I took 2 points off for the travel. So it was 109 down to 107. Jimmy Star loves a fast pace. Next best on 104. Can Jimmy win from 11 though? That's my big query. I think that Ethan Brown's going to have to just drop back. We saw how far how far back he got last time. I think the same's going to happen on Saturday, where Ethan goes back, and it's going to have to be a Herculean effort to come down the middle of the track and get over the top of Ying. Next best, 102, Jolly Star. Now, Jolly Star, I love the barrier. I love the jockey. Barrier 5, James McDonald. Where is Jolly Star going to get? I don't want him to get too far back. My predicted position, just based off data, is 14 in this race. I don't want James to get back too far. I don't think he can give Ying Rising too big a start. From 5, there's not a lot of pace drawn inside him. Sit sit a bit more forward, sit sixth or seventh in this race, even get on Car Ying's back and give him windburn in the straight. So let's go and have a. Here's Jolly Star's ratings. We saw 105 in the Newmarket um, when she blew him away in the Newmarket. Shorts 1100, obviously a very strong 1200 meter horse, which I think you're going to have to be to win this race as well. Um, let's go and have a look at the shorts where, and I spoke about this last week, where Autumn Boy was drawn wide and Woken was drawn barrier one in the Golden Rose. Then they went to the Caulfield Guineas. Barriers were reversed. And it's a little bit the same here with Briasa versus Jolly Star. So if I just pause it here, you'll see Briasa the Grey drawn inside of Jolly Star. Let's fast forward. Briasa gets into a nice spot where Jolly Star is trapped. Three wide, no cover at the rear of the field. No real option there. But to do what Jolly did. So if we just fast forward this race a little bit, you'll see coming into the straight, Jolly's wide, Briasa's two in, and Jolly Star puts Briasa away here. I think Jolly Star will be in front of Briasa in this race. Briasa wasn't fully fit in this race. I tipped him last start as well when he won. I think he will continue to improve. I just don't know if this is his race, Briasa. From barrier 10 really worries me. If he goes forward, I don't think he'll have the energy left to win the race. If he goes back, I'm just not sure that he'll have the sprint to get over the top of the likes of Jolly Star and also Ying Rising. And I don't think he'll outsprint Jimmy Star. So those are my fears for Briasa. Now, if we just get back to the chances here, I think Jolly Star definitely has the sprint to win the race and get over the top of Ying Rising if Ying Rising was to regress. Let's talk about Lady Shenandoah. She came in off my acceleration mixed with early pace ratings equal at 102. So if we just have a look at, I'm prepared to forgive this run here. But what she does very, very well is she runs high numbers of fast tempos. We know how brilliant she can be. She hasn't been in very many fast tempo races, but these are the two. These are the two here, along with this one here. Won every single race, loves a fast tempo, and can sprint off a fast tempo and has upside. And I'm prepared to forgive last run. So those are the two for me that I think are value in the market. Jolly Star and Lady Shenandoah. If we keep going down from that off the ratings that I just put together, the adjusted weightings for um, for the predicted early tempo. So how these are ratings off how they go off fast tempos. So I'll start at the top again. Ying 2-point penalty, but it still comes out on top at 107. Jimmy 104, but I'm worried about the barrier and getting back too far. Jolly 102, Lady Shenandoah 102. Then we drop right away. Briasa 99 and worried about the barrier. So I'd mark Briasa down for that. War Machine 97. Horse on the Rise. I saw they put up 20-1. Seemed like a decent value to me. 20-1 War Machine. Not really a horse I want to back, but decent value. Overpass as well on 98. Don't really want to back Overpass first up. I think there's just too much pressure there, but is a horse that can absorb. What else have we got? Marzu 93, can't back. Jedi 93, can't back. Angel Capital 92, can't back. Tempted 92, Barrier 1. Just going to have to do too much, I think. And then Magic Time, rounding him out, doesn't go very well off fast tempos, Magic Time. And I think this is a too big an ask. So that's a wrap. Let's just go and have a quick look at the market. Ladbrokes are leading the way on Ying at the moment at $1.80. That's the best price anywhere in Australia. And with him coming up so short on the world tote, I think that price may firm. I had a look at Betfair. It's trading around 182 to back 184. So the 180, if you like Ying Rising, is very fair. Jolly Star at the moment, $7 best with tab that I've seen. Prepared to wait. I think we'll get about $8 Jolly Star. The other horse that I want to back, Lady Shenandoah, around 13. I think we'll get 15 or 16 around Lady Shenandoah. I'm waiting. So I'm not really jumping into anything at the moment. Just suspended the market. Ladbrokes. They've got smashed on Ying. Brias out to $13. War Machine, as I said, 21 into 15. Jimmy, that's top odds about Jimmy 11. I think Jimmy from that barrier will continue to drift. I think Tempted is a horse a few people are tipping. Yeah, down in the weights, 51. I can see there being a bit of money for Tempted. I can't see there being money for anything else really in the race. That's it. So my two Everest bets at the moment, I'm going to put more work into this race, talk about it on the Saturday set again, and also talk about it on Friday on Max Bet. So that's where I'm at the moment. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. If you haven't got your Spring with the King package, the 8 big race meetings across the spring, $200, go to theking.zone, sign up, full ratings, prices, comments, everything you could need to get you through the spring. Have a great day. I'll see you on Thursday.
Think, is this a bet you really want to place? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.